So how much time are we actually talking about here? Well, the expert panel says you'd need to stretch a single muscle group for more than 15 minutes a day every single day for at least 6 weeks just to see some small gains. That is a massive time investment for a pretty minimal return. So here's the bottom line. While it's technically possible, the expert consensus is crystal clear. Stretching is just not an efficient way to build muscle. For that, you gotta stick with what we know works best. Good old progressive resistance training. All right, now let's get into the two biggest reasons people stretch around their workouts: to prevent injuries and to speed up recovery. And this is where the science really starts to challenge what a lot of us do every day. You know the drill. It's the classic pre-game ritual, right? Spend a few minutes stretching to loosen up and stay safe. But does it actually do anything to protect you from getting hurt? Okay, check this out, because this is where it gets really interesting. There's this wild trade-off. The latest research found that while static stretching might slightly lower your risk of muscle injuries like strains, it was also linked to an increased risk of bone and joint injuries. So, because of this really complicated picture, the expert panel came to a very firm conclusion. They do not recommend stretching as a general all-purpose strategy to prevent injuries. The evidence just isn't there to back it up. Okay, so what about the cool down? We've all done it, that post-workout stretch to try and stop that dreaded next-day muscle soreness from kicking in. You know, what's technically called delayed onset muscle soreness, or DOMS. Take a look at this. It shows just how much the expert panel agreed on different stretching topics. And on this one, wow, the consensus is just overwhelming. A staggering 95% of the entire panel agreed that stretching does not help with post-exercise recovery. And even more amazing, 100%. Every single one of them agreed it does nothing to improve your posture. That is a really powerful statement. So after all that myth-busting, what is the bottom line? Let's pull this all together into a really simple evidence-based playbook for how you should think about stretching from now on. This graphic from that expert consensus report just sums it all up perfectly. It lays out so clearly what stretching is good for, what it might be useful for, and frankly, what it's just not effective for at all. So, let's do a quick fire round. A definite yes for improving your range of motion and flexibility. A big ol' maybe for strength and muscle growth, but only if you have a ridiculous amount of time to spare. And then a clear, resounding no for preventing injuries, helping with recovery after workout, and fixing your posture. So, there you have it. The science is pretty clear. Stretching isn't some magic bullet that's going to stop you from getting injured or sore. It's a very specific tool for a very specific job, improving flexibility. And knowing all this, the real question for you is,